Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is an exciting planning video because in a couple of weeks time, Christy and I are going to be flying to the other side of the world, to here, and we're going to drive around here in this, not this, a car that's a little bit bigger than this, the Audi R8 V10 manual Spyder. Shut up! Okay, so what's all this about? Well, it's been a bucket list item of mine to drive an Audi R8 around Europe and then ship the car home. Now, originally I thought this was going to be something I would have done maybe 10 years ago, but we ended up having kids, and as you can see from the car, only 2 people fit in the car, so adults and kids, not so much. We have done this trip a number of times in different cars where we've managed to take the whole family with us. Bonjour! Bonjour! But this is the first time that our kids will be staying home and we can be going in the 2-seater. So pretty exciting. How do you find a car like this online when you live over on this side of the world, get it all ready, get it set up, get it insured, and fit to drive around Europe so that when you arrive it's just ready to go? Well, it's not all that easy, to be honest, but there are a few things that you need to do. The first thing, of course, is find a car. So I got on the line and I went to a website that's in the UK called autotrader.co.uk. So I was after a manual R8 V10 Spyder. Now, instantly that narrows it down to maybe only 30 or so cars because there aren't that many manual R8s. In fact, they don't make them anymore, so they're becoming more and more sought after. To help eliminate this down even further, I don't want a black car, I don't want a white car, I don't want a grey car. Those cars are boring. Boring, boring. If you've got a car that's one of those colours, you're probably boring. Go for a car that's got some interesting colours to it, like something different. Like seriously, in New Zealand, every car is black, white or grey, and it's like living inside a Tim Burton film. So I came across this colour called teak brown, and this model is in teak brown because this was one of the launch colours that Audi used. It's an Audi exclusive colour, and it's an exclusive colour combination because it also has this cream coloured interior leather seats as well. So that was a no-brainer. There was only one of these cars. It was up in Portland Autos. I emailed them. Long story short, I got the local Audi dealer up there to check the car over for me. They basically told me what I already knew about these cars, and that is, you know, with 60,000 kilometers or so on the clock, the clutch is going to be tired, might need replacing, a little bit of minor wear and tear and things like that. So nothing major. I bought the car. Next steps, got to insure the car. I have a friend that lives in the UK. We insured the car under his name and he added me as a driver. Very difficult for me to insure the car as a New Zealander because I'm not living, I don't have a UK address, so it does help significantly if you've got a UK address and you can register the car in somebody else's name and you can insure the car in somebody else's name. So that's exactly what we did. Insurance for a car like this are not super cheap. I think somewhere around £350 per month, and I'll only need that insurance for a couple of months. So it is what it is. That's just one of the things that you have to keep in mind. You do have to insure these cars before you take them into Europe. I think you have to insure them even to drive them on the road in the UK. So that's really important. Now, I decided that I wanted to get the clutch fixed over there before I pick up the car. So I'm getting a car that's as new as it can possibly be, even though this is a 2010 model. So I got online, had a look through some of the Audi forums, and I discovered a guy called Ricky from RE Performance. And he apparently is the R8 guru. He used to work for Audi. He worked in their research and development team in the UK. And now he's got his own workshop and he services and tunes R8s amongst other awesome cars. But he, at any one time, he always has lots of R8s, maybe a dozen or so of these in his workshop, which is very reassuring because in New Zealand we probably have about a dozen R8s in the whole country. I'm sorry, I'm slightly under exaggerating here, but we don't have many. There are very few people skilled that get the volume of cars through their workshop that are able to just look at a problem and instantly know that's what it is, and I know how to fix that, and that's a common issue. So Ricky is that guy. He's got the car at the moment. He's putting in a new clutch for me. He's going over the whole car, and he's going to make sure that it's in tip-top condition for me before we pick it up. Okay, now when it comes to the rest of the planning, we fly into Singapore from Christchurch, Singapore, a couple of nights in Singapore to London, which is right here. Now we arrive into London around 6 o'clock in the evening. We Uber right across to the town where Ricky is based, which is about an hour or so from, or 40 minutes or so from Heathrow Airport. And then first thing in the morning, we will go around, pick up the car, and we'll drive straight down to the Channel Tunnel, cross across to France, and we get into the first stop in our trip, which is just up here on the map. It's a coastal town in France. It's only about an hour's drive from the Calais Eurotunnel terminal. So we get in, we spend 2 nights there, and then we drive from there down into Paris, which is maybe 2.5 hours driving, where we spend 5 days in Paris, 4 nights. Christine is going to be doing a full language immersion course there with a tutor. I might be doing a few day trips. After Paris, we then head to Lake Annecy, which is around here. Hard to see, yeah, somewhere around here. It's up near the top of the French Alps, and it's this area around here where we're particularly interested in driving, because this is where all the zigzaggy roads that you see on all the car shows are, and there are a lot of them. Right through the border of Italy and France, you'll find, and Switzerland, you've basically got this whole hotspot of awesome alpine roads, alpine driving. And we're going to spend several days driving and finding these amazing roads, which I will obviously be filming, and we'll be zipping around there. We then go from here down to La Spezia in Italy for a couple of nights, and then we come back into the French Riviera around a small medieval town called Ise, and from Ise we travel around the south of France and then work our way back up to London, ultimately, where we fly home. So that is the trip. That's coming up. I'm going to probably break it into a number of different segments, and that's very, very exciting. So one of the problems with the R8 is inside here is the storage capacity. Basically 2 small carry bags and maybe a small camera bag. That's it. There's no space in behind the seats because the hood folds in back there, just like, you know, on the traditional R8, you've got some room back there. No room whatsoever. Maybe a little bit of room in front of Christine's feet, but we don't really want to fill that with too much stuff, so maybe a backpack could fit in there. That's it. So that's going to be a challenge in itself, and probably part of the fun and the joy. It's not the first time we've traveled light like this before, but you know, it's going to require some meticulous planning. Part of that planning has been making sure that the camera gear and the stuff that I'm going to bring with me is absolutely minimal. So, you know, I've gone and got myself a couple of GoPro mounts, because I find the GoPro mounts are just the best, and they will be used to drive a GoPro Hero 9, which I'll use inside and outside of the car. I've got an adapter for the iPhone, which really has one of the best lenses in its class. That will clip into here. And then what I've noticed and discovered while getting this set up is the Apple Watch camera app works also in video mode. So you can preview exactly, you can position this on the car and you can preview and zoom and adjust your lens and then start and stop the recording straight from here. So that's pretty exciting. It's exciting for me. It might not be exciting for you, but it will allow you to see the entire trip. So that's coming up. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you can get the notifications of that trip. And next time you see me, we should be somewhere around here.